This is INCRadio, DZEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
You're watching INCRadio. To all of our viewers here on INCRadio, Central Valley, California. We're so glad to be back. You know, have you ever had a moment to yourself when all of a sudden your sibling comes in to just create chaos in your ever so peaceful moment in time? Or ever had that last piece of cake in the fridge that you've been saving for a rainy day, and then your sibling eats it with no regard whatsoever? That right there are moments only made with having siblings around. Having a brother or even a sister is a gift that sometimes we take for granted. So in this episode of INCRadio, Central Valley, California, we'll be discussing about the meaning of having siblings and the stories and memories that come with having them in our lives. And you can only find that here on Valley Grown, where conversations feel like home. With me today are Abby and Gabby, the Cardenas twins, and along with Aiko and RJ, the De Guzman siblings. Say hi, guys. Oh, you go ahead and mute yourselves and say hi.
Hi. There you go.
Awesome. And then for the Guzmans, they'll actually be logging in just really shortly. They're having some technical issues, but we thank you guys so much for joining us on the show. And we're so excited to get started with the topic. But before we do that, we want to go ahead and ask everyone to please go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And be sure to hit that notification bell so you can stay tuned in on everything Valley Grown, only here on INCRadio, Central Valley, California. And with that being said, as mentioned earlier, there are many moments that can only be made with having siblings around, especially from an early age. So we want to kickstart our discussion by asking about those early family memories. So my first question for the both of you, we'll start with the Cardenas, is were you naturally close growing up? Or was it something that took a little bit of time to develop?
We were very close ever since we were little. I guess it's a twin thing. One of the best things having a twin is you have already a built-in playmate since day one. I think we were already like talking to each other in the womb or something. But yeah, we were always in the same school, had the same friends, we shared the same hobbies. So she's like another version of me. So we're definitely close.
We were like very super close growing up, and we were always together like in school, and we would have the same group of friends. We had similar taste in movies, music, and hobbies, and like what Abby said, she's like my born best friend. So
yeah, and I'm glad that you guys, growing up, had that really close connection with each other. It's awesome to hear, and it's awesome to see. De Guzmans, what about you? Was that the same thing? Were you naturally close growing up, or was it something different and took time to develop as kids?
It was very different for us. Growing up, we were not very close. We would argue a lot. We fought a lot. Sometimes very intensely.
We didn't hate each other.
We didn't.
We just weren't very close.
Yeah.
I would see her at school, and we would avoid each other.
Yeah, at one point we were in high school together. I was a senior and he was a freshman, and I was just like, "Don't say hi to me, please."
and we have those specific memories in our minds because it's always different when we have our siblings around, whether it be in school or even doing things outside of school, right? So I want to go ahead and now ask about each of your favorite childhood memories growing up. I'll start with again with the Cardenases.
What really stands out to me that I remember from our childhood memory is that we loved to make videos. We were directing our own. We made our own like script. We were filming. We did everything. We were the
We had our own production company. We also had like our own. We made our own webcam show. You can guess what the name of the show was called. It was called The Abby and Gabby Show. So, and we basically, yeah, that's what we both loved doing was like filming, and we were very inspired by YouTube. So strive to become like
and we're
famous-
fulfilling our dream right here. Yeah, this
famous
is perfect.
YouTubers. Yes.
But yeah, we were definitely close because we had that same interest. Yeah.
And we love that because it's awesome that you both share that same love and passion for making videos, and it encourages you guys to be able to be on the show today. So again, thank you guys for coming, and it's one of the reasons why I love your energy. I love your guys' attitude. You guys are like super awesome. The Guzmans, how about you? What's like a favorite childhood memory you can think of off the top of your head?
Um, I think it's because we weren't super close growing up. We didn't have a bunch of shared memories.
Yeah.
But there's this one memory I had when I was we weren't too young, but it was back then. I used to really like taking pictures. I remember asking my sister if she could drive me to San Francisco so I could take pictures there, and she did it because I wasn't driving at the time. And I remember I thought that was really cool of her, even though I was pretty.
It was really cool of me, but he was so ungrateful. I was so annoyed by the end of the day because like he was so mad and so focused about not being able to get good pictures. But like we went around San Francisco. I don't like driving San Francisco. It's so hard to drive there, right? But I was like so happy to do it. But he was like, throwing a fit. So I was like, you're so annoying.
I think all the traffic made it worse. But I was grateful. I was just mad at myself.
Yeah.
And I love that. Honestly, it's not always the happy memories, I'll say, but it's always those interactions too where you can always look back and be like, why are you like this? So Cardenas, what about you? Oh, sorry, we already asked. So now we're gonna go ahead based with these experiences, right? It always starts from somewhere, and sharing these stories with our siblings makes it even more special. But we sometimes think that what would it be like without our sibling there? Or what would it be like if we had somebody else there to join us too? So I want to go ahead and ask the both of you now. How did your siblings shape your childhood experiences, and would they be different, or would they even remain the same? I'll start with the Guzmans this time.
Oh, it would definitely be different. Yeah, even though me and my sister weren't super close growing up, I always talk about this with other people and how it would be so lonely if I was an only child. So very grateful to have a sibling, because you always have that person there, right? Whether if you do need to talk to someone, then they're always there for you. So yeah, it'd be very, very different, very lonely.
Yeah, it just makes you a little bit more confident, like especially growing up because I think the both of us were a lot more shy and more reserved. So just knowing that you always have somebody in your corner always really helps.
Cardenas, what about you? Would the experience be the same? Would there be anything different?
Oh, it would
So
definitely be different
different.
since we were already together since day
Day
one. So it's interesting, just like with RJ, I would always have conversations sometimes about what it would be like if I didn't have a twin. And I would also feel lonely, and we were also both shy kids. So at least if we couldn't find any playmates, we had each other. We were shy and timid together. So it would definitely be different. I can't imagine myself without a sibling, honestly.
No, yeah, it would be so different because we've always done stuff together. So I can't imagine, what life would be like without, having Abby around. And, our bond was always there too. So it's like, I don't know, I might be one of those kids who are just in the corner, very awkward. So it's good to have,
And that's what's nice because we're twins. We have the same hobbies, same interests, but we're still kind of different. Our personalities are different. So she's more shy and I'm more outgoing. So we kind of like balance each
Yeah.
other out. And if I didn't have her, I wouldn't learn how to be outgoing, if that makes sense. But yeah.
And the moral of the story here, right, is for the both of you, we're glad that you both have that foundation, that root in being together, right? And that in itself is essence of what we pride here in Valley Grown, the sense of being able to grow together, not only as siblings, but even as friends in that relationship, right? And so to our viewers that are tuning in, please let us know in the chat are your favorite childhood memories, especially the ones with your sibling or siblings. And we can read that when we go ahead and read our comments later on in the show. And now to transition, Melvi, yes.
Actually, before you transition to the next question, our comments are flooding right now with so much support and love. And actually, one of them shared their experiences when it comes to their siblings. So let me go ahead and just read this one comment before you go on. From Lani Dugay, she said, my older sister and I used to argue a lot when we were growing up. Now that we're older, we have become best of friends. This is giving me goosebumps. I love my sister. Her name's Liza or Liza so much. We are thousands of miles away from each other, but we talk to each other almost on a daily basis. I'm actually getting emotional reading this. Wow. Anyway, thank you, Lonnie, for sharing that. And it's been so much fun hearing our twins over here and RJ and Aiko. So go ahead and continue on with your conversation, and we'll read more comments later on too.
I agree. I agree, Melvi. The stories that we're hearing today definitely inspire us to all the more have a better understanding of what the meaning of having siblings and the many stories that come with having a sibling in our life. And so to all the more emphasize our sibling connection, right? We're gonna go ahead and play a game. Who's ready for a little bit of a game, right? So we're gonna go ahead and pit the Cardenas twins up against the De Guzman siblings, and they're going to be playing a game we call Sibling Connection. And so we're going to present one question to them, and they're going to have to see how their twin telepathy will fare against the both of them. So I'm going to go ahead and start by asking RJ and Gabby to go ahead and answer the question related to Echo and Gabby and Abby. Okay, so the first question is for Aiko and Abby, what is their most prized childhood possession? So we'll give you 30 seconds to think of that, and we'll have Melvi read some comments while they're going to be crafting their answers. Melvi, if you could.
All right, hold on. Sorry. From Ka Isaias Antinu, he said, hello, everyone, especially to all brethren in Central Valley, California. Nice topic. And he also adds, I miss my siblings. From Emilia Bors, fighting for the TV since the shows we watch are broadcasted at the same time. I would hide the remote at times. That's funny. And from Brother Ben, he said, hello po, guys. Yes, in Grace. And I believe someone also greeted our beloved minister and his wife, Brother Manny and Sister Cora. Happy anniversary to both of you. And of course, we have a lot of comments. And also, Ka Rudolph added, my sister used to make me the bad guy during playtime and made me do all the heavy work when we played house. Very relatable. And being the oldest, I'm also always in trouble.
Yeah, and then these comments were awesome to hear from our very own live audience. Please continue to share those. And back to our game. So we'll start with RJ. RJ, so what do you think Aiko's most prized childhood possession is?
I'm gonna say he didn't have one.
Aiko?
Yeah, he's right.
All
I was
right.
like, I can't tell you. He's like, but did you have one? I was like, I can't tell you.
I
But I
could,
didn't.
I couldn't think of anything either because
I know, I didn't.
And there we have it. All right, Cardenas, let's see if that twin telepathy is working in your
It's
favor.
for twin telepathy. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm on the same boat as RJ where I can't think of anything, but if I were gonna guess, I think her childhood possession would be her diary. You got it right. Oh my gosh. You did it. You got it right.
Oh my gosh.
So, we did cheat, by the way.
No,
she was
because-
trying to ask me what was your childhood position.
Yeah, no,
can't
I
tell
was
you.
thinking like, what does she like hide all the time away from me? And it was her diary because I would want to like snoop and read her diary, and there's like some mean things she would say about me.
Don't expose me, Gabby.
But yeah, no, I think that's it. Oh shit.
We love that. We love that. And so, unfortunately, we're gonna have to cut our game a little bit short. But we thank you guys for participating in our quick game, and we thank our live audience for sharing your comments and sharing about your favorite childhood memories and how you handle your sibling relationships in your own lives too. And so, to continue on with our discussion, right, we want to go ahead and shift the focus from our early family memories to more of our adulthood and how our family influenced our sibling relationships. To start our next discussion, we now want to know, what does it mean to have a sibling? We're going to go ahead and start with the De Guzmans on this one.
I think just like going back to what we said earlier, like as younger kids, just knowing that somebody is always there. I think it still applies now, especially because we do a lot of things together. So I can't really imagine like not having a sibling. I think the twins mentioned it earlier, just kind of like a built-in best friend or only friend for me. But yeah, no, I think it just like I just can't imagine how I would be or just how life would be in general without having a sibling.
Yeah, pretty much like what Aiko said. I think it's having that connection built up over time because I think it's even more apparent now that we're a lot closer.
Yeah.
What it means to have a sibling, and it's like what the twins said too. We didn't have anyone else. At least we had like each other.
Yeah, I kind of rely on him on like a lot too, especially because we do so much together, especially with our duties at church. We're in the same departments and everything, so we kind of help each other out, and that just makes it all the more easier for us. And just having each other there, just we help each other out, so it works out really well.
Cardenas, what about you? What does it mean to have a sibling in your eyes?
No, yeah, I definitely agree what RJ and Aika said. But to add to that, our sibling is our built-in best friend, but at the same time can be our rival
In a fun way.
in a fun way. They can annoy you sometimes. You know, we have some arguments, but what matters is that we resolved it quickly, and we always remember the laughs we shared, the inside jokes we share. And I'm confident to say that if we do grow apart, we will always have this unbreakable bond between us.
And like adding on to what RJ and Aiko said earlier was like the connection that's being built up over time. I definitely agree with that, and it's also like a sibling is someone who's always there, who understands you at a different level than what others
That's true.
yeah. So, thank you. But yeah, like no matter where we go, it's like the connection and bond will always remain the same.
And I'm glad that you mentioned about no matter where you go or like if the different changes that happen in life, because things happen. Nothing ever remains the same, even when it comes to friendships and even sibling relationships. And so I want to go ahead and present to the both of you now. How do you like these life changes, whether they be like careers, personal goals, affect your sibling bond? I'm gonna pass it to the Cardenas first.
So yeah, we were always together growing up, even through college. I think the one major event that things started to change was when we learned how to drive, and
We went on our separate ways.
we went to our own jobs, so we weren't in the same job. So that was our first time experience being on our own in a way. So it was pretty interesting. But even though we have different jobs, we still have this connection. And
And it'll like in the future it'll definitely change because Abby, she's actually engaged to some to her fiance who's in the Air Force. Oh, she worked with me. Okay, and and definitely it'll be a big adjustment, especially since wherever her fiance is stationed at, that's where she'll go, and it'll be so different since we're always so together. Um, we live together, we do everything together, and um, but we both know that that's the part of growing up. And no matter what, we'll always we're a call away.
and it's always nice to have or know that someone is always there to listen to you and understands you in a different level, since we've been together throughout our
Mhm.
whole lives.
And it's also a good thing too because if we're far away, we have different experiences that we can share with each other. And especially with her, she's gonna be traveling all around the world, and I can't wait to hear her stories. And I hope that I'll visit you someday and get a discount,
Military discount.
a military discount on that airplane ticket. So.
Well, Abby, shout out to being in the engagement crew. And I know my fiance is watching. So, Mara, hi. I hope you're enjoying the show. The Guzmans, do you want to add on to anything that the Cardenas has said?
Yeah, I would say a major life change for us would happen when we moved to Riverbank. Uh, Before that, we weren't so active in the church. I would say once we moved here, that's when we started taking on more duties, and also getting closer to each other. I think it helps that this local it's a smaller local, right? So it has more of a community feel to it. So having that like community and uh, having those like what sister or what Aiko said is how we have the same duties. I think that helped us grow closer to each other, and I think that's kind of the start of when we.
Yeah, I think
Right.
that's mostly where the shift happened because, like I said earlier, we fought a lot when we were younger, but when we moved here, a lot of things changed for us. We were still living together, but the fact that we are in the same kind of duties, we're always together when we're coming here to different church activities. So it has made us much more closer, and having the same spiritual goals. Those things kind of aligning has helped us to kind of help us to see that we are more alike than we thought, especially in comparison to when we were younger. But yeah, we know also that'll change for us. When if we happen to move away, I know that it's going to be so different and it'll be really sad. But I think no matter what, because we are siblings and we have this really close bond, essentially it'll still be the same in terms of our relationship with each other.
And that's and I'll go back to what I said in the beginning of the show, right? That's the beauty of having our siblings by our sides, is that no matter what happens in our life, we're able to be by each other's side time and time again. And so as we end our discussion, I want to go ahead and leave this final question for the both of you to ask. So imagine if this was our your guys' last convo together, right? Or like in that sense, what would you want to share with one another so that way you'll never forget each other in that way? We'll start with the Guzmans.
I think more travel experiences. We always talk about wanting to go to like different countries and stuff. So I think we really look forward to that. I think the only place we've gone together on our own is to Canada to visit our best friend, Eliana. Shout out to Eliana. But aside from that, we always talk about like, yeah, let's go to RJ really wants to go to Japan. I want to go to Switzerland. But just anywhere in general. We want to experience those kinds of things. And we mostly for the food, we're big foodies. So we do a lot of that together. Do you have anything else?
Our last convo. I think you talked about things that we would have wanted to do. I think I would want to talk about just like, or reminisce on just memories that we had. Because we already laugh a lot with each other when we're just talking about stuff that we did in the past. So yeah. I think that's probably a conversation that I would have with her, just something to make us laugh.
And what about you, Cardenas? If this was your last convo, what would you want each other to never forget about?
So same thing, just like what RJ said. I would. We're big reminiscers, so we would reminisce on our the memories we shared, the laughs we shared together, and I also want. If this was our last conversation, I would also tell her, not to be cheesy, but I'll tell her thank you for the memories and mahal kita.
No,
I'm just kidding. But basically, yeah, that would be it. Thanking her for a great time and being such an awesome sister. And yeah, I want to get emotional.
Yes, I don't want to be cheesy too, because that's gross. But if this was our last conversation, and if I want, something that I don't want you to forget is that I'm always here, and like even if through the hard times, like you're going through a rough time and you need someone to talk to, I'm here. I can watch, we can watch binge watch shows together that we loved when we were kids, and tell her that no matter what happens, that mahal kita too. Yeah, that's great. But yeah, our connection will never break. It'll always be there.
Cardenas, the Guzmans, we thank you so much for joining on our show. We're actually right about to end, and so we appreciate the stories that you've shared, the love that you've shared for each other as siblings, and to be able to let us feel the way that you feel, in being deeply rooted in the way that you take care of each other as siblings and all the more as friends. And so we want to thank everyone that's tuned in today for INCRadio Central Valley, California. We also want to thank our INCRadio station manager, Brother Wally Tarai, to our SEPSI president and CFO coordinator, Brother Angelo Rano Vimanalo, and of course, to our executive minister, Brother Eduardo Vimanalo, for always guiding us in the way that we perform our duties and for allowing us to have programs like this. And so, with that being said, we thank you for tuning in to Valley Grown, home where conversations feel like home. And so, feel free to tune in next time at 9 p.m. Fridays Pacific Standard Time here on INCRadio, Central Valley, California. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Sa iglesia sila